ITW presents Vista 2020, the International Business Summit of IIM Bangalore. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome our distinguished guests for today. Our first guest for today is Mr. Ajay Piramal. Our next guest is His Holiness Radhanath Swami. Our next guest today is Dr. Vivek Bindra. Our last guest for today is Mr. Rahul Singh. We now hand it over to Mr. Rahul Singh, the moderator for today's panel discussion, to begin this session.
Thank you, Ashna. It is my pleasure to be hosting this. विवेक बिंद्रा जी, आपसे क्वेश्चन है, ये जो बड़ा बिजनेस करना होता है, उसके लिए क्या चाहिए होता है? बड़ा दिमाग या बड़ा दिल?
बड़ा दिमाग या बड़ा दिल? Basically, बड़ा दिमाग या बड़ा दिल से ज़्यादा what's important is सही mindset. The millennium leaders of 2020 will not be those who will generate great fruits, but the ones who will actually build the roots behind the fruits. For conscious capitalism, what I would say, what is important is not the content, but the intent behind the content. Not the foreground, but the background behind the foreground. So what's needed to build this a great organization, bada business? Leadership is about inspiring the actions. गुरूर में इंसान को कभी इंसान नहीं दिखता, जैसे छत पे चढ़ जाओ तो अपना मकान नहीं दिखता. ऐसे ही, it's very simple. Krishna says, अहंकार विमूढ़ आत्मा करता हम इति मन्यते. A businessman who is filled with all ahankar, and he thinks karta ham iti manyate, he manyate matlab मान लेता है वो, that I am the doer, मैं ही कर रहा हूँ सब कुछ. And the moment a person becomes so self-centered, then he will actually focus more on the valuables, not the values behind the valuables. So when you focus on the valuables, neither the values stay nor the valuables. But when you focus on the right values, the valuables come so fast you can't even manage. On the other side, even if the money comes without the goodness, what good is that money which is without goodness? So basically, bada business karne ke liye, building the right purpose is important. Because a team that is aligned behind the right purpose will move the mountains. अगर आप देखेंगे कि जब भी कोई purpose driven रहता है, he has an extra power that he can actually access to, which an ordinary man is not able to do it. So culture of any business is the right foundation for great future. See, winning is nice if you don't lose your integrity in the process. I got my ROI for my today's session that I came here. My understanding is to build a great organization, you need great organizational belief. What is my organizational belief that I want to set? How will I get that? By establishing the right values. Then, how do you establish the right values? Step 2, what is your compelling, exciting story to talk about those values? Even Hitler had a compelling, exciting story कि तुम लोग आर्यन हो. You are extraordinary. तुम्हारा खून अलग है. He had that compelling, exciting story. When people talk about these stories, they can instill these values. पूरा जर्मनी खड़ा हो गया था दुनिया में. Germany is smaller than Uttar Pradesh in population. और हमारे यहाँ वैसे तो कुंभ मेला होता है, तो कुंभ मेले में जर्मनी हम ब्रेकफास्ट लंच में नहलाई देते हैं. इतना छोटा है जर्मनी, but it could actually control the entire world at one time. How did it do it? Because of the compelling, exciting story. So what is your story that you're telling to your internal, external stakeholders? And who will spread that story alone? You'll not be able to do it. You have to develop your Navratnas. Why did Akbar could conquer the entire country? Because of Navratnas, he could develop a great leadership. So where are your Navratnas? Have you identified your Navratnas who can spread your story well and actually execute it? Negative बात को फैलाने में मेहनत नहीं करनी पड़ती है, अपने आप फैल जाती है. Positive message को spread करने में बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ती है when you're trying to build an organizational culture. So basically our values is the, my value, my net worth, my value is the sum of my all values that I have. That will build my real value, that which value which people are looking for is the sum total of the internal values that I have. So great people have great values and great ethics. So if a brand will not live inside, if it doesn't live inside, it cannot thrive outside. So how do you change the belief system? How do you change that culture, that mindset? Very simple, like I shared with you. बहुत सारी कहावतें रहती हैं. वो कहते हैं अब पछताए होत क्या जब चिड़िया चुग गई खेत. पछताना चाहिए, नहीं तो चिड़िया दोबारा चुग जाएगी खेत. हम गलत कहावतों पे डिपेंड करने लग जाते हैं. वो है ना, the cat goes on a pilgrimage after eating 100 rats, 1000 rats. वो क्या है कि 100 चूहे खा के बिल्ली हज को चली. अब बिल्ली हज को जा रही है, उसको जाने देना चाहिए, उसको मत रोको, नहीं तो वो 200 चूहे और खा लेगी. You got to understand that which is the right belief system, which is the right culture that we got to actually accept. Sometimes we see, if you look at the entire UP and Bihar, everybody's looking for a government job. If you look at the entire Rajasthan and Gujarat, a lot of entrepreneurship is building up because of the social belief, people around us. So we tend to get influenced by the mantras and shakunis around us. Who should be our advisor is important is Lord Krishna, who gave advice to Arjuna with very less manpower, with very less resources of funds. The Pandavas could win over practically the ones who were in the kingdom for a very long time. Duryodhan बहुत time से उस समय kingdom को manage कर रहे थे. Still, by having the right advisor. So who's your advisor? What are the right values you're building? Compassion, collaboration, positivity, efficiency, innovation, creativity, focus on impact, keeping things simple, consistency, dependability, loyalty, teamwork, learning, excellence, innovation. So there are a lot of values that you can actually think of building them. Microsoft has a very important value as an integral part of their organization called CSR, environment, trustworthiness. Facebook says focus on impact, be open, and build social value. So what you believe is what you receive. It's not by fluke. Krishna says yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajyatante kalevaram. जैसा जैसा स्मरण करेगा वैसा वैसा बनता जाएगा. So what is important is your mindset will deliver the outcomes. So what should be the organizational belief? Second is, what is my compelling, exciting story? Third is, who in my team will help me spread? I'll repeat the three questions. What is my organizational belief? Second is, what are the core values and compelling, exciting story behind it? And third is, who in my team will help me spread? Then you can actually convert a great organization, which is not just an organization, but a great mission. And then simply at last, what I'd like to request, every morning, do a review improvement cycle for yourself. What went well, what went wrong, what could be improved? Three questions, www.cbi. What went well yesterday? What went wrong yesterday? What could be improved now today? And then, of course, when you do that, follow a model called RISIMIS, Ritual of 60 Minutes Solitude, RISIMIS, Ritual of 60 Minutes Solitude. Every morning, spend some time practicing with all sincerity, practicing of spirituality, 60 minutes solitude that will help you build insight. Second is improvement cycle. And third is when you go back to sleep, learn to practice the gratitude journal. I am grateful for, I am grateful to. I am grateful for, you can put a name. I am grateful to an action or a situation. These simple practices, actually, I like to speak more on actionables. How do you implement it? I normally like to speak more implementable strategies that can be immediately taken back. But thank you very much. I think extended my back to you. Over to you, Mr. Rahul. Thank you.
नहीं, बिल्कुल आपने बिल्कुल अच्छे तरीके से समझाया. ना बड़ा दिमाग चाहिए, ना बड़ा दिल चाहिए, बड़ा वैल्यू सिस्टम चाहिए. और बड़ा वैल्यू सिस्टम बनाने के लिए आपको एक बिलीफ चाहिए, एक जिस बिलीफ से आपका वैल्यू बिल्ड होगा और उस वैल्यू को इम्बाइब करने वाले और लोग आएंगे जो आपका मैसेज स्प्रेड करेंगे. तो आपने बड़े संक्षेप में और बड़े अच्छे तरीके से उस बात को समझा दिया. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दैट. डॉक्टर बिंद्रा, वी आर ओवरशूटिंग टाइम, बट देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन फॉर यू, and this question is about changing the ecosystem. So the question is, how can a conscious consumer's inflow of cash in the market amend the business ecosystem? So I'll repeat. How can a conscious consumer's inflow of cash in the market amend the business ecosystem? Would it lead to the emergence of better social entrepreneurship ventures starting up? So that's the question.
See, in any case, in any ways, the success of consumer first and staying close to the consumer is always the foundation of the business. All the great businesses who have actually built the greatness have been very, very close to the consumer. Finding in ways and opportunity, how does your consumer become successful is always important. And plus, then there can be different models and ways. Since topic today is about conscious capitalism, I'll say, while driving your business, the strategy, values are not the strategy. The real comparative advantage in any business is only one word, which is the values. The Tata Group, if you look at them, values have been their biggest comparative advantage. Going in detail of the question may take some time, but giving you one example that how, if you make it convenient and easy for your consumer to shell out their money and to absorb and take the product and consume the product, if you can make that easy for him, and building the values around making it convenience for the consumer can become also a great comparative advantage. I'll give you my example. I was in Town few days ago. और मैं ISKCON temple से एक rickshaw लिया, and I wanted to go to a place which is at 800 meters. ये थोड़ा अच्छा लगेगा आपको जान के. The rickshaw wala was trying to overcharge and asked for 200 rupee when I was sitting alone. I said, थोड़ा ज्यादा मांग रहे हो आप? बोला हाँ. I said, what is it for? बोला रिकवरी कर रहे हैं. He was from Eastern UP. I said, क्या रिकवरी कर रहे हैं? बोला आपका बड़ा बिजनेस का कोर्स खरीदे थे. ये हमारा चौथा रिक्शा है. अभी हम एंटरप्रेन्योर बन गए. कोई मोबाइल ऐप बताइए कितना चक्का घूमेगा, उसका हमारे मोबाइल में पता चल जाए तो चक्का घूमने पे दूसरा रिक्शा वाला से हम पैसा ले लें, तो हम लगाएंगे अपना कैपिटल और उससे लेंगे रोज का पैसा. इससे हम बड़ा एंटरप्रेन्योर हो जाएंगे और मथुरा, गोवर्धन, राधा कुंड, श्याम कुंड सब जगह हमारा रिक्शा चलेगा. Now, reaching out to the middle of the pyramid and bottom of the pyramid and understanding with the vision that if I can actually serve at least 1/3 of the population of my city has been the area of focus for me for my consumer success. So, foundations are the right values. The valuables are only outcome which are easy, which can easily be driven, and people don't pay money for the time you spend with them, for the hard work that you do for them. People pay you money for the value you create for them. Thank you.